The SailFlyX from Happy Model, I got it from Banggood. This thing is absolutely bananas. I love it. It's a rocket ship, but the frame I killed within the first 5 batteries, and I mean, look at this. There's just almost no carbon there. It's insanely thin. So I think I'm gonna go for a 3D printed frame and see what we can do. We'll probably break that too, but at least we can just print another one. Here's the first iteration of that. You can see it's trying to keep the weight down. We'll probably put it this way around, put the motors on top, and there's little spaces, recesses for the screws. So although it's thicker than the original frame, the parts where the screws go through will be the same thickness as the original carbon, which is 2.5 millimeters. So should be okay. It's reasonably stiff out of PLA. Obviously, PLA is not going to take much in the way of impacts, but it's stiffer than nylon and stiffer than PT and ABS. So yeah, it's a trade-off. We'll see. This is the first prototype, and we'll see what happens from there. You can see here that I've put a 0.2 millimeter layer, which is it's the first layer, and it means that the printer lays down a perfect continuous first layer, which is really helpful for these super fine details. If one was to try and print those little indents there, the chances of it lifting off the bed and being imperfect are higher. And then you just clean them out, like you can see I've done here already, and there we have it. Alright, so there it is with the with the motors installed. It was a bit more hassle than anticipated because the holes for the screws were quite small. You see that it's almost impossible here to make a to give holes and then also provide clearance for that bearing. So I actually have just little notches, which works nicely once installed. It looks perfect, and there's zero chance of obstruction to that bearing, but it does make for a fiddly install, so you kind of have to put in one screw and then wiggle it around, etc. I can adjust the clearance of the holes though, and that should improve things too. I'm going to put the canopy on now, but you can see here's the XM Plus receiver that I have installed as well. That dramatically increases the range, but in my case it was actually an installation done because I chose got the wrong option. I got Fly Sky instead of FR Sky, so I did the switcheroo there. Alright, it's looking promising. Let's see how it goes. There we are, fully assembled. I've got the little Diversity XM receiver antennas out the side there on cable ties. Obviously one had to be careful with the heat shrink since it's a PLA frame. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know how it's going to fly. Should fly okay. How it's going to crash, probably spectacularly, I imagine. And given my flying, that's going to happen real soon. So I'll be able to feed back. Something I didn't mention is the battery mount. There's a space there, at least I hope there is, to feed through the Velcro strap that comes with this SailFlyX. So I'm not using the TPU holder, I'm using the Velcro strap that they provide with it. Now I guess it just needs a name. I'm thinking FailFlyX. SailFly? Nah, FailFly. This is definitely a FailFly. Alright, adios. Alright, so I just did a couple of flights today, and it seems to be working just fine. There's a smidge more weight from the frame. For the kind of flying I'm doing, it's not the end of the world. I did a few gentle crashes into bushes and grass, and it survived those. Obviously it's not going to survive crashing into rocks, but it's definitely a usable frame, so I'll release it, I'll put it on my mini factory. Here you can see the way that I've installed the Velcro straps. So this means that the whole build can be done with, it's a straight switch without any new hardware or anything that doesn't come in the SailFlyX box, and that was my goal. It's just a replacement for when you inevitably break that ridiculously delicate frame. And then you can get back up in the air with about an hour worth of printing. So really not bad at all. I'm pretty happy with it. The Velcro, I found it's best to actually make a loop, which is a snug fit for the battery, and then squeeze the battery in there. If you try and tighten it around the battery, it just slips and slides. Other than that, everything's pretty good, and I'll fly a bit more. I'm not going to share any DVR footage because A, I don't have a DVR, and B, I'm a gosh darn awful pilot, and you just don't want to watch me lazily buzzing around a park. But it's cool, and gets me back in the air, so I'm happy with it. Hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know what you think.